He planted himself in the middle of my brand new living room, arms crossed, jaw clenched, disbelief dripping from his voice. "Where are we supposed to sleep?" he snapped. I didn't blink. "You don't." The silence afterward was crushing, almost heavy enough to press the air out of the room. My sister's kids clutched at her sleeves. Her husband stared at the floor like it had the answers. And my father, he looked at me as if I had just struck him. Good. Because this wasn't cruelty, it was consequence. They had molded me into the obedient one, the fixer, the peacekeeper. Every holiday, every family gathering, I bent until my spine nearly broke just to keep things smooth for everyone else. After my mother passed, the imbalance sharpened. My sister was crowned the favorite, I was assigned the responsibility. She basked in admiration, while I carried the weight. So when I landed the out-of-state promotion I'd been chasing for years, I believed, naively, that maybe, finally, they'd be proud. A new city, my own place, my name on the door. I invited them before I even unpacked the last box. I should have known better. 2 weeks before my move, my father called with a casualness that only comes before a bomb drops. "You'll need at least 4 bedrooms, he said smoothly. "One for me, one for your sister, her husband, and the boys. Don't waste money on something too small. We'll be there a lot." Not a question. Not a request. A demand. I actually laughed, honest laughter, because I thought he was joking. He wasn't. When I told him I'd signed the lease on a modest 2-bedroom, his voice detonated. "What kind of selfish daughter doesn't make room for her family? What do you expect us to do, sleep on the floor like dogs?" That word stuck. Dogs. That's how he framed it, as if denying them my space was degrading, as if my purpose was to house them like royalty. I didn't argue. I didn't justify. I simply remembered. Quietly, I prepared. I stopped sharing updates about the apartment. No photos, no excited calls about furniture. When asked, I deflected, still unpacking. I bought 1 sleeper sofa, just one, enough for a guest, not a pack of squatters. I decorated with framed photos of my achievements, not the family portraits they used to line every hallway with. And the 2nd bedroom? I left it bare, except for a desk and a locked cabinet. My sanctuary. When they arrived, reality smacked them in the face. My father prowled through the apartment, flinging doors open like a king inspecting a castle. The moment he realized the 2nd bedroom wasn't for them, his voice dropped into a growl. "This won't do. We can't stay like this." My response was calm. "Practiced. You were never invited to stay." His face flushed crimson, then purple. "We drove all this way. And you assumed you were welcome," I answered evenly. "You weren't." My sister gasped. Her husband said nothing. They weren't used to this version of me, the one with boundaries, the one who no longer begged for scraps of affection in exchange for servitude. They left that night, the door slamming behind them, expecting me to run after. I didn't. But the war wasn't over. They tried their tactics: guilt, silence, whispers in family group chats, barbed comments dropped to aunts and cousins, "How dare she?" They thought I'd fold, like I always had. Instead, I waited. And then I made my move. At my nephew's birthday party, I showed up early, gifts in hand, cake I'd baked myself, laughter spilling with the kids. Not for my sister, not for my father. For everyone else. Within an hour, I heard the murmurs. "She's glowing. Did you hear? She bought a condo on her own." The shift was subtle but seismic. Respect that once orbited my father now drifted toward me. Then the mask came all the way off. I discovered he'd used my name to co-sign a loan for my sister's car, without my knowledge, without my consent. That was the last straw. I hired a lawyer. Sent a cease and desist. Reported the fraud. The bank froze their account. His call came frantic, venomous. You're tearing this family apart, he roared. I let him rage until he ran out of breath. Then I gave him nothing, silence, and hung up. The day he showed up at my door, panic in his eyes, begging me to fix it, I didn't open wider than the chain lock. He stood there, powerless. For the first time, I realized he never wanted a daughter. He wanted a servant. And I had just quit. Cutting ties wasn't easy. It's never easy. It felt like surgery, necessary, bloody, and painful. The ache lingered long after. But I'd rather live alone in peace than be smothered in a house where my voice never mattered. Now, my apartment is quiet. Peaceful. It smells like ambition and coffee, not guilt. And if he ever dares to ask again, where do we sleep? This time, I'll say it slower. You don't.